Hello everybody, what is up and welcome back to Learning the Powder Keg 1914. In this video we'll be covering the concept of diplomacy. So diplomacy will come after tech, though like tech it is optional. In this case you can see here that we have the diplomacy table. Now it is not fully set up, but you can see that we have flags around the edges. Now these are nations that start in different positions depending on where their flag is. And then down here in the bottom, all other nations that are not listed, and there's a good 20 go down here. You can see that I've just set up what is relevant to this series right now. That is being the nations of Hispaniola Island, which have been moved here based on a random event, and then Italy, which will be the subject of this video. So, in this case, it is Austria-Hungary's turn, and as I said in the last video, Austria-Hungary is a bit strapped for cash, so they don't want to be spending too much on diplomacy and tech, so they won't be purchasing any diplomacy roles or trade with other nations. Now, diplomacy's rules are all up here in the top, and it states that all nations do get a free roll, so Austria will get one free roll. Additional roles can technically be purchased through trade, and that would basically mean that if the Austrians decided to, they could say buy a artillery piece, and that unit would be purchased by the Austrians and then placed in Italy. You could also, there are also ways to get free rolls in the form of terror bombing and gunboat diplomacy, both of which you have to have actual units on the board to basically commit to. And with terror bombing, you basically have to fly bombers, or a bomber or more, into a neutral nation's capital territory and basically commit to a terror bombing move. And in that case, you get to make a roll, but if you fail, then the nation will flip one to the other side. And the same goes for gunboat diplomacy, and that is basically moving a warship that is capable of bombardment to or adjacent to a neutral nation's capital, and again committing to gunboat diplomacy. And like with terror bombing, it gives you a roll, but if you fail that roll, it basically goes the other way, and the enemy side, basically the nation goes towards the enemy team. So in this case, the Austrians don't want to do any of that. They don't want to give anything to Italy or any other nation, but they do get that free diplomacy roll. Now, unlike with tech, diplomacy is a success on a 1 or a 2, so you have slightly better chances of winning it. There are also other ways to get free rolls. They are all listed here. We won't be going over that right now, but they are pretty simple. Austria, for instance, does have an ability that they can cede certain territories on their border to Italy to get themselves free rolls. So, in this case, Austria will just make their free roll, and they actually got lucky and scored a 2. And in that case, since they were rolling for Italy, Italy gets to move 1 over. Now, you can, of course, have multiple rolls. So let's say the Austrians had purchased an artillery for the Italians, they would have gotten 2 rolls. Hope you guys have found that video it's pretty informative and understandable, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, where we will be getting into some action of turn 1. So, hope to see you guys again, and hope you have a great one. Cobra out.